chosen one. Heaven watched you today. The unseen world fell silent as you stood once more when everything tried to push you down. You didn't realize that your decision to keep going became a trumpet sound in the spirit. Angels stopped to take note. Demons trembled. And heaven recorded the moment when your courage defied the darkness. There was a divine gaze upon you, eyes that have never left you for a single heartbeat. Every step you took through exhaustion, every sigh you released in faith, was not ignored. When you whispered, "Lord, I'll trust you anyway," the heavens opened wider over your life. What you thought was an ordinary moment became a sacred act of warfare. You need to understand something tonight. Courage is not noise. It's not applause or grand gestures. True courage is the quiet defiance of faith when fear screams louder. It's the strength to lift your head even when your heart feels heavy. It's the fire that keeps burning when no one else sees the flame. And heaven saw yours today. The attacks that came were not random. They were reactions, proof that your light carries weight. Every scheme formed against you lost its edge the moment you stood your ground. You didn't need to fight with words. Your faith was the weapon. You didn't need to retaliate. Your obedience itself disarmed the enemy. Remember this even when you felt weak. You were never abandoned. Heaven surrounded you. The presence of God shielded you from what could have broken you. You may not see the full picture now, but in the spirit realm, your endurance built a wall of fire that no darkness could penetrate. And though you thought no one noticed, heaven rejoiced. Every time your heart whispered faith into the silence, new strength was released. You weren't merely surviving, you were being shaped. The unseen realm celebrated because your persistence proved that divine purpose cannot be drowned by momentary pain or earthly confusion. Every trial became testimony. Each attack forged deeper discernment within you. Heaven turned every weapon into wisdom, every delay into direction. You didn't just endure, you evolved. The fire that tried to consume you became your consecration, refining your heart until it reflected the brilliance of divine resilience. And when you felt like breaking, God Himself bent close, whispering peace over your soul. The warmth you felt in your spirit wasn't imagination, it was His nearness, His promise that He would never leave you. You were surrounded, sustained, and silently strengthened by the breath of heaven. Now, as you stand in the aftermath, the air around you hums with divine vindication. What was meant to humiliate you has become your holy unveiling. You carry proof that perseverance invites glory. Every scar now shines as sacred armor, declaring to darkness, "This one belongs to God," and they cannot be shaken. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 10, "Be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power." These words are not a suggestion, they are a divine awakening. You were never meant to stand in your own strength, but in His. The moment you leaned into His power instead of your own, victory was sealed. Heaven's strength clothed your spirit like armor, and every arrow of fear was extinguished before it reached you. And you know what that means? Chosen one. It means you no longer fight for approval, you fight from a place of divine inheritance. It means that what once overwhelmed you can no longer shake you, because the power sustaining you does not come from human ability. It flows directly from the throne of grace. When you said, "Lord, I can't, but you can," heaven answered, "I already have." That is the mystery of divine exchange. Your weakness became His strength. Your surrender became his strategy. Heaven does not overlook faith. Heaven magnifies it. And today, the fragrance of your perseverance rose before the throne as incense of victory. You have no idea how many destinies will draw strength from your endurance. Because of your decision to keep believing, someone else will find the courage to rise tomorrow. So pause now, breathe deeply, and know this truth: heaven is proud of you. Your courage became your offering. Your endurance became your anthem. If this message ignites something in your heart, don't let it fade. Like this message. Share it so another warrior knows they're not alone. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because heaven's words will keep flowing through this space, guiding you from strength to strength. Finally, as a prophetic declaration of victory, type 777 inches, the comments below. Let that number be your seal of completion over the battles of this day, a sign that what God began in you, he will finish perfectly. Chosen one. There has been a war around you that most cannot see. While your hands worked in the natural, the heavens and the unseen realms clashed above your life. Every thought of despair, every wave of fatigue that hit your heart was not coincidence, it was warfare. You stood in a field that angels and demons have both walked through. But here's what hell underestimated: your endurance is not ordinary. You were built for battle. You were trained by trials, anointed by adversity, and strengthened by silence. When you were misunderstood, it wasn't rejection, it was divine isolation. Heaven needed you separated long enough to awaken the warrior within. Every delay that frustrated you was actually divine strategy. You were being hidden, protected from sabotage before your rise. You thought the battle was punishment, but it was preparation. Heaven was teaching your spirit how to fight without losing your peace. There are battles that only chosen ones encounter, wars designed to break those carrying great purpose. That's why the attacks against you have been so relentless. But each arrow that was fired has already lost its venom. Each lie that was spoken has already fallen powerless. Because the truth about you was written long before the enemy even planned your destruction. Heaven has already declared your end from your beginning, and your name is engraved in victory. There were moments when you felt the pressure tighten, moments when you thought you wouldn't survive another day of warfare. But even then, your spirit whispered, "I still believe." That whisper echoed louder than the enemy's roar. It was not your voice alone, it was heaven's spirit praying through you, keeping you standing when strength was gone. You've been walking through a battlefield disguised as your daily life. Relationships that turned cold, opportunities that slipped away, emotions that shifted without reason. Each one was a front line in the invisible war. Yet, through it all, you never bowed to despair. That's why the darkness fears you now. It knows you've discovered something more dangerous than power. You've discovered divine stability. Heaven wants you to understand you were never fighting for victory. You were fighting from victory. The war around you has already been decided. You are not waiting for light to win. Light has already triumphed. You are simply standing in the manifestation of that eternal decree. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 19, "The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like deer's and enables me to tread heights." These words are not poetry, they are prophecy over your life. You have been strengthened by the same power that steadied the prophets, the same breath that raised the broken from dust to dominion. You are walking in terrain meant to intimidate. yet your footing remains firm because heaven itself supports you. Every time you staggered and found balance again, it was not luck, it was grace. The same God who lifted David from the cave, who raised Joseph from the prison, who steadied Esther in the palace, is lifting you now. You will tread on heights meant to destroy you. The very ground that once shook beneath your feet will soon carry the echo of your victory. The enemy wanted to trap you in confusion, to make you forget who fights for you. But now you know your stillness is not surrender, it is alignment. Heaven cannot fight through the restless heart, only through the yielded one. That's why the Spirit has been whispering, "Be still and trust me." The less you strive, the more heaven moves. When you rest in divine strength, you become unstoppable. Every dart of fear dissolves. Every attack loses direction. Hell cannot strike what heaven shields. The moment you stopped panicking and started trusting, angelic ranks advanced. You didn't see them, but you felt the shift, the air changing, the pressure easing, the peace returning. That was not coincidence. That was heaven at work. You have walked through the fog of warfare long enough. The dawn is rising now. The battlefield is turning into sacred ground beneath your feet. What once looked like chaos is now becoming clarity. You will look back and see that every fight carried a revelation. Every delay held a blessing. Every scar bore wisdom. Chosen one, lift your head. The war that once surrounded you is losing its voice. Peace is advancing like an army. Heaven is reclaiming the territory of your mind, your emotions, your days. You will soon look back and realize that what once tried to consume you actually crowned you. Because through every hidden war, you learned to trust the unseen. You learned that silence doesn't mean absence. You learned that stillness doesn't mean defeat. It means that the commander of heaven's armies has stepped in, and once he moves, nothing stands. So tonight, be still. Rest in what has already been spoken. Let the victory already written unfold around you. The war is ending. The smoke is clearing. And heaven is whispering your name as one who stood, fought, and overcame. Chosen one. Heaven has been counting every tear you thought was forgotten. Each one has been gathered, recorded, and transformed into divine evidence, proof that your pain has purpose. Not one night of anguish, not one moment of silent heartbreak has been wasted. You've been walking through valleys that only the courageous survive, and heaven has been watching with tenderness and pride. There were nights when the weight on your chest made it hard to breathe. You tried to hold it together when no one was watching, hoping God hadn't turned his face away. But he never did. In the stillness of your suffering, heaven leaned closer. The cries you buried beneath your pillow were not ignored, they were translated into intercession. Each sob became a seed of transformation planted in sacred soil. When you asked, "Why this pain?" heaven whispered, "Because I'm building something eternal in you." What felt like breaking was actually shaping. What seemed like loss was making room for glory. You thought you were abandoned, but you were being refined. Gold does not emerge without fire, and your tears were the waters that cooled the flames once the refining was done. You see, pain has a voice. It teaches what comfort never could. It digs deep wells of compassion inside you, making space for divine empathy. Every heartbreak you endured has increased your capacity to carry heaven's love. That's why your heart feels everything so deeply. You are not fragile. You are chosen to feel the world through God's eyes. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. In the book of Psalms, chapter 56, verse 8, "You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book." Those words are not symbolic, they are sacred truth. Heaven literally holds what you've released in pain. Each tear you cried carried a story, a moment where you chose faith over bitterness, trust over surrender, and God remembered. Even when you felt invisible, you were fully seen. You must understand this. Every tear was currency in the kingdom. Every sorrow was an offering that built altars of glory. When you cried but didn't curse God, angels rejoiced. When you were betrayed and still forgave, heaven recorded your obedience as worship. The universe itself bends around a heart that chooses righteousness under pressure. The reason your warfare was so fierce is because your anointing is so rare. The deeper your pain, the greater your capacity for purpose. Heaven trusted you with hardship because your spirit could hold the weight of transformation. You carried crosses that others couldn't bear, and that's why crowns await you on the other side. You were never alone in those dark nights. When your body trembled from exhaustion, angels stood guard. When you said, "I can't do this anymore," the Holy Spirit whispered, "Then let me carry it." And he did. That's why you're still standing now, because unseen hands lifted you when your strength was gone. Chosen one. Look back for a moment. See how every valley led to a revelation. How every betrayal became redirection. How every disappointment turned into divine positioning. You thought you were losing everything, but you were only being emptied to be refilled. Heaven never subtracts, it prepares. And now, a shift is coming. The tears you cried in the shadows are about to bloom in the light. The same places where you wept will become altars of joy. The people who left you will watch God restore you beyond recognition. This is not the end, it's the unveiling. But before you move forward, I want you to pause. Let gratitude rise. Even for the pain, thank God for what didn't work out, for who left, for what broke, because all of it was preparation. You wouldn't carry this much grace if life had been easy. You wouldn't carry this much wisdom if you hadn't walked through fire. So right now, as an act of faith, type in the comments, "I'm still standing," not as a boast, but as a declaration. When you write those words, you affirm that nothing, no heartbreak, no attack, no storm was strong enough to bury you. You're telling both heaven and hell that you are still here, still believing, still burning with purpose. And as you type it, imagine your tears transforming into light rising before the throne as radiant proof of endurance. Heaven watches, and the darkness trembles again, because every chosen one who survives their sorrow becomes unstoppable. You have carried pain like a prophet carries fire carefully, faithfully, knowing it would one day light the world. And now that day is near. Heaven has seen your courage, gathered your tears, and declared over you, it is time. Your tears were never weakness, they were prophecy. Every drop spoke of survival. Every sob built altars of victory. And now, chosen one, heaven is turning mourning into movement, sorrow into song, and ashes into anointing. The worst is over, and the story is shifting in your favor. Chosen one, you were tested for glory. The storms that circled you were never designed to destroy you. They were sent to strengthen the foundation beneath your destiny. Every challenge was a divine classroom. Every heartbreak, a hidden curriculum written by heaven itself. You were not being punished, you were being perfected. There is a difference between the breaking of the weak and the refining of the strong. What others call misfortune, heaven calls preparation. When you lost what you thought you needed, you gained what could never be taken, resilience. When the doors closed, they weren't denials, they were redirections. Heaven was building in you a strength that only pressure could reveal. Think of the goldsmith's fire, intense, consuming, necessary. The heat doesn't destroy, it purifies. The same has been true for you. You've walked through seasons that burned away false attachments, fears, and insecurities. What's left is the truest version of who you are, unshakable, pure, and prepared for purpose. You've been learning how to breathe in the middle of fire, and now the flame bows to you. The prophet reminds us in his writings, in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people. And they will say, the Lord is our God. These words were written for souls like yours, those who walk through the furnace not to perish, but to emerge radiant. Your suffering was not a sign of rejection, it was proof of selection. Heaven refines only those chosen to carry its weight. The greater your calling, the greater your refining. Every moment you whispered prayers through pain. Every day you rose when it would have been easier to stay down. You were passing tests unseen by human eyes. The trials were measuring your endurance, shaping your compassion, sharpening your discernment. You learned to trust when trust seemed foolish, to forgive when forgiveness felt impossible. You became fluent in faith when logic failed. Sometimes, heaven allows the breaking because destiny demands depth. A shallow vessel cannot carry deep glory. So God allowed the shaking to make room inside you for wisdom, for empathy, for understanding. What felt like loss was capacity being created. Every time your heart cracked, more light entered. Chosen one. The silence you endured was sacred too. When God seemed quiet, He wasn't absent, He was observing your faith under pressure. You didn't realize that heaven had already prepared the next chapter. The test was whether your spirit would remain faithful before the answer came. And you did. You stayed. You believed. The angels who watched you walk through that wilderness sang your name in reverence. Because obedience in pain is the rarest form of worship. When you said yes while bleeding, you declared to the universe that love is stronger than suffering. You have to see your past differently now. It wasn't wasted time, it was divine training. You were being taught how to lead others out of their own fire. Your story will soon become the map for someone else's deliverance. You endured what you did so that no one near you would ever face it alone. You became the vessel through which comfort now flows. Do you see the pattern yet? Every fall became the seed of resurrection. Every failure carried hidden instruction. You were being sculpted by unseen hands. And now the masterpiece is nearly revealed. There will come a day when you'll thank God for the things that hurt the most. Because those were the moments that made you unbreakable. The betrayals that wounded you taught discernment. The loneliness that hollowed you made space for heaven's companionship. The losses that shattered you broke open the gates of new beginnings. Your current peace did not come cheaply. It was purchased through pain, refined through perseverance. You paid the price of authenticity. And now, heaven crowns you with authority. You can speak life into chaos because you have lived through storms. You can lift others because you know what it means to fall. You don't need to fear another trial, because you've already survived the kind that kills false versions of the soul. The enemy tried to wear you down, but you learned to turn exhaustion into worship. You discovered that divine strength is not about having energy, it's about having endurance. So stand still for a moment and feel what heaven feels, or the same fire that tried to consume you now glows within you as power. The tests didn't destroy you, they revealed your divinity. You carry proof that pain can be holy when placed in the hands of the Creator. Chosen one. The refining is complete. The season of testing has accomplished its purpose. You are stepping out of the fire shining, purified, unstoppable. The voice that once cried for help now speaks with heavenly authority. And soon, those who watched your breaking will witness your rising. They'll see the brilliance that came from your ashes, the wisdom that grew from your wounds. You were never buried, you were being planted. And now, heaven is calling for the harvest. Chosen one. Heaven's court spoke your name today. The moment your spirit whispered, "I still trust you," a decree was released. The sound of it rippled through eternity, and angels were dispatched in response. What was written against you has been overruled. Heaven has declared you vindicated. You may not have heard it with your ears, but your soul felt it, that quiet shift in the atmosphere, that sudden peace that came without reason. It was the sound of chains breaking in realms unseen. The accusations that hovered over your destiny have been silenced, because heaven itself has spoken, "This one belongs to me." Imagine a courtroom not built of stone, but of light. The walls gleam with glory. The floor trembles with worship. At the center stands a throne brighter than 1,000 suns. Before it, your name was read aloud, not with condemnation, but with compassion. The judge of eternity leaned forward and smiled. The verdict was never in question. The blood of redemption spoke louder than the accusations of the past. Heaven's gavel fell not in punishment, but in promise. That's what happened today in the unseen. You were justified by faith, crowned with mercy, and clothed in favor. The enemy's voice tried to rise, but it was drowned out by divine authority. Every curse that once followed you has lost its language. The record of wrongs has been erased. The book of beginnings has been reopened. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, in chapter 8, verse 36, "So, if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." You are free. Chosen one, truly free. Not just from sin or shame, but from the need to prove your worth to those who never saw it. Heaven already validated you. The same God who calls galaxies by name calls you his masterpiece. You are heaven's evidence that grace still rewrites stories. There's something sacred about freedom. It makes your life a melody again. It's like standing in a wide field after years in a cage, breathing air that feels holy. The wind that touches your face now carries no guilt, no fear, no residue of what was. It's fresh, like dawn after a storm. But here's the mystery. Freedom is not a reward for perfection, it's a revelation of identity. You are not trying to earn God's favor. You're awakening to the truth that you've always been loved. The cross didn't create God's love, it revealed it. When heaven's court spoke your name, it was a reminder that your life has always been written in light. Chosen one. Take a moment to reflect. Look at where you came from, how many storms you survived, how many fires you walked through, and yet you're here, stronger, wiser, softer in heart, sharper in spirit. That's what grace does. It refines without reducing. You've been like a lighthouse in the storm, unmoving, even when waves crashed hard against your walls. Each time the tide rose, your light reached higher. You may not realize it, but you've been guiding others simply by not giving up. People are watching your endurance and finding courage in it. That's your ministry, your quiet influence, your silent sermon. Now, as this message reaches you, I want to speak to your heart, not as a voice on a screen, but as a companion in the journey. The work of light requires unity. Every beacon burns brighter when it joins others. When you like this message, you're not feeding an algorithm, you're fueling the spread of hope. When you share it, you're passing on the very torch that once lit your own path. If you subscribe, you're not following a channel, you're joining a family of warriors walking the same narrow road. Each word, each video, each message is another drop of oil for your lamp, keeping your flame alive until the dawn comes. And if you feel led to donate, know this, it's not an obligation, it's worship. It's planting seed into soil that feeds souls around the world. Every act of giving becomes a whisper in heaven that says, I believe in what God is doing here. You are part of something eternal. Every act of support, every moment of engagement helps build a sanctuary of words where broken hearts can heal and forgotten spirits can rise again. You are not just a listener, you are a co-laborer in light, chosen one. Heaven saw your courage, and the decree is final. You are free. So lift your face toward heaven and let gratitude flow. The same hands that lifted you from the pit now place a crown upon your head. Walk forward, radiant and restored. The sound of chains is behind you now. The melody of freedom is before you. And remember, whenever your heart grows weary, picture that courtroom of light again, the throne, the gavel, the glory, and hear the voice that still echoes over your soul. You are mine. You are free. You are chosen. Heaven has spoken. The matter is settled. Chosen one. Heaven remembers the moment you chose to forgive. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was sacred and quiet. Maybe you were alone in your room. Maybe no one saw the tears that fell, but heaven did. That moment was more powerful than you realize. Forgiveness didn't make you weak, it made you unstoppable. The day you let go of what hurt you, something broke in the unseen world. The chains that had wrapped around your spirit, chains of bitterness, resentment, and silent anger snapped. What once weighed on your heart like stone turned into wings of freedom. You didn't just release a person or a situation, you released yourself. You thought forgiveness was for them, but heaven knew it was for you. Because when your heart stayed heavy, your hands couldn't rise. But when you forgave, the weight lifted, and suddenly your spirit could soar again. The battlefield that once surrounded your heart became a garden where peace could grow. There's a sound in heaven reserved for the moment a chosen one forgives. It's softer than thunder but stronger than any roar, a sound that shakes the corridors of darkness. When you whispered, I forgive them, heaven whispered back, now they're free. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy. In chapter 30, verse 19, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. That is what forgiveness truly is, choosing life. Choosing not to stay buried in what was, but to rise into what can be. Every time you choose mercy over vengeance, you breathe heaven's air. Every time you release offense, you make room for divine favor to flow freely again. You have no idea how much strength it takes to forgive when you've been wounded deeply. Heaven does. That's why the moment you forgave, your name was spoken in joy among the angels. The act looked small on earth, but in eternity, it thundered like a victory march. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's not saying what happened was right. It's declaring that pain no longer has permission to own your peace. It's walking through the ruins of what broke you and realizing you survived. The walls may have crumbled, but the foundation of your faith still stands. There's a quiet holiness in release. When you refused to seek revenge, you made space for heaven's justice to operate. And God's justice is not delayed, it's precise, perfect, and merciful. The same way He extended grace to you, He teaches you to extend it to others, not because they deserve it, but because freedom demands it. Think about this. Every seed of bitterness you uprooted made space for new blessings to grow. Your forgiveness became a divine trade pane for peace, wounds for wisdom, memory for meaning. Heaven is cultivating beauty in the exact soil that once held sorrow. The same ground that soaked your tears will soon blossom with joy. And even now, heaven is writing new chapters. The people who wronged you may never say sorry, but that's not your burden to carry. Your healing is not waiting on their repentance. It's already sealed by your release. You didn't lose power by forgiving, you reclaimed it. There's someone reading this right now whose heart still aches from betrayal. Hear this clearly. What was meant to poison you became your preparation. The offense that was supposed to harden your heart has instead purified it. You are walking in greater authority because you chose compassion over bitterness. Do you feel that peace starting to rise again? That's heaven breathing through the cracks of your heart, restoring what pain tried to steal. You will love again. You will trust again. You will laugh without fear of the past. The proof of your healing will be your joy. Forgiveness is the fragrance left on the hand that was once wounded. It is the final act of defiance against the darkness that tried to define you. And today, heaven celebrates that fragrance around your life. Chosen one, the moment you forgave, you opened the floodgates of blessing. Doors that were locked by anger are opening now. Opportunities that were blocked by bitterness are finding you again. The light that dimmed in your eyes is returning. Heaven saw your courage to release, and now, restoration begins. Before you move forward, seal this moment. Let heaven record your agreement with grace. Type the number 888 inches, the comments 3/8, the symbol of new beginnings and resurrection. When you do, it's not superstition, it's a prophetic declaration. It means I choose life. I choose peace. I choose freedom. As you write it, imagine those numbers glowing like golden light, rising through the atmosphere, signaling heaven that you've stepped into renewal. Because you have, forgiveness didn't erase your past, it redeemed it. The pain that once silenced you now speaks through you with power. You carry the fragrance of mercy wherever you go. You have become living proof that love always wins. Heaven saw the moment you forgave, and the world will soon see the peace that followed. Chosen one, your courage has shifted the atmosphere. You may not feel it yet, but heaven does. The ground beneath your feet has changed. The very air around your life carries a new frequency, a divine vibration that darkness cannot endure. You didn't just survive the storm, you altered its course. Every act of faith you've made, every time you refused to give up when quitting would have been easier, created a ripple in the unseen realm. Courage, in its purest form, is not loud. It doesn't always shout or fight. Sometimes it simply stands. And when you stood, heaven took position behind you. You didn't realize that your persistence was warfare. When you prayed through tears, when you chose to believe without evidence, heaven moved. The spiritual realm recognized your authority, not because of what you said, but because of what you endured without surrendering. The darkness that surrounded you lost its coordination the moment you decided to keep shining. It was never just about your personal victory. Heaven was using your courage as a declaration, an announcement to the unseen world that the light has not been extinguished. Every step you took in faith sent shockwaves through realms you cannot see. The forces that once mocked you now retreat in silence. You have become a living declaration of divine endurance. We find in the sacred text of Joshua, in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Those words were spoken long ago, yet they breathe through you now. They are not history, they are prophecy. You are living proof that courage still parts seas, still moves mountains, still silences fear. You didn't know it, but when you chose faith over fear, the atmosphere around you realigned. Heaven's power flowed through you, and everything opposing your peace began to crumble. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the mastery of it. Fear may have visited, but it didn't take residence. The trembling in your voice did not mean weakness, it meant you were fighting while still believing. The presence of fear only gave your faith something to overcome. And you did. There were nights when your courage looked like stillness, when you said nothing, but your silence spoke louder than any cry. That silence was your strength. It was the sound of your spirit refusing to bow to chaos. When you decided to keep walking, even while shaking, you broke spiritual laws that once held you captive. Heaven calls that courage. The reason the enemy fought so hard to weary you was because your endurance carries creative power. Every time you choose to keep going, heaven creates new pathways for you. The unseen responds to your persistence. The gates that seemed locked begin to open. Not because of your strength, but because your courage summons divine intervention. Understand this courage is contagious in the kingdom. Every time you choose faith, someone else finds hope. Every time you rise after being knocked down, light spreads through unseen corridors. Your courage is not only changing your story, it's shifting destinies connected to yours. There are souls being strengthened by your survival. You didn't just push through pain, you transformed it. The wounds you carried have turned into windows where heaven's light now shines through. You are walking proof that the human heart, when filled with divine fire, can outlast any shadow. That's why you intimidate darkness. You mirror the strength of the one who created light itself. There's a secret heaven wants you to understand. Your courage creates protection. When you stand firm, the enemy loses strategy. Courage confuses the adversary because fear is his language, and you no longer speak it. Each time you refuse to panic, Angels receive permission to act. Your peace has power. That's why the atmosphere changes around you. People feel it when you walk into a room. They can't name it, but they sense it. It's not arrogance, it's authority. Heaven's presence moves through you because courage is not just a feeling, it's a divine mantle resting upon your life. Chosen one. Every victory you've seen and every battle you've survived have layered your spirit with wisdom. You carry a strength that doesn't shout, it radiates. You no longer fight for validation, you fight for alignment. You no longer strive to be seen, you stand to be sent. Your courage has turned into commission. Even now, the realms of heaven celebrate. Angels sing not because of what you accomplished, but because of what you refuse to abandon. Courage has crowned you in ways you don't yet understand. Every challenge you faced has been converted into authority. You now walk in the kind of strength that shifts storms simply by standing still. Do not mistake the quiet of this moment for inactivity. Heaven is still moving, but differently now, more through you than around you. You've become a vessel of divine steadiness. The world may shake, but you will not. You've become the calm within the chaos, the pillar amid trembling ground. So take a deep breath and look around you. The war that once raged has quieted, not because it ended, but because you overcame it. You learned to carry peace into battle, and that peace has become your power. The atmosphere bows to your courage now, because heaven's authority flows through your stillness. Chosen one, your courage didn't just change your story, it rewrote the balance of the unseen world. The moment you decided to believe, heaven decided to move. You shifted the atmosphere forever. Chosen one, the silence that surrounded you was not empty, it was holy. While the world mistook your stillness for defeat, heaven recognized it as surrender. You weren't being ignored, you were being observed. You weren't abandoned, you were being prepared. The quiet season was never punishment, it was the echo before revelation. There comes a time in every chosen life when heaven stops speaking, not because it has nothing to say, but because it's waiting for you to listen differently. The silence you felt was not distance, it was depth. God was not far away, He was deeper within. Every unanswered prayer was not rejection, it was refinement. You were being trained to hear beyond sound, to see beyond sight, to believe beyond reason. In that silence, you discovered who you truly are. You learned that your value isn't measured by applause or affirmation. You realized that God's presence is not proven by noise or activity, but by peace that refuses to fade even when all else goes quiet. The darkness around you was thick, but your spirit began to glow brighter within it. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 26, "It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord." You've walked through days when even prayer felt hollow. When words failed, you sat in silence and hoped God still heard the language of your tears. And He did. Every sigh, every slow breath, every thought that turned upward in exhaustion was counted as worship. Silence became your sanctuary, and stillness your strength. In that season, your faith matured. When God stopped giving signs, you learned to trust His character instead of His evidence. When He didn't speak, you learned to remember what He already said. That's where your roots grew deep, unseen, unshakable. The silence didn't weaken you, it made you indestructible. The world teaches noise as power, but heaven teaches peace as authority. You have become fluent in the language of stillness. Your calm confuses chaos because it reveals that you're anchored in something eternal. You've learned that true strength is not in movement, but in knowing when to wait. The silence broke you open, and from that breaking, new sight was born. You began to see through illusions, to sense divine patterns behind the pain. Heaven was not withholding, it was sculpting. Every unanswered question became an invitation to intimacy. You were not waiting for God to act, God was waiting for you to align. Chosen one. Silence is where giants are forged. The noise of distraction could never have taught you what stillness did. You learned to hear the heartbeat of heaven, the rhythm of divine will pulsing quietly through your being. And now, because you endured the silence, your voice carries new weight. When you speak now, the atmosphere listens. There's a sacred authority that rests on those who have learned to wait. It's the kind of peace that doesn't depend on circumstance, the calm of one who knows that God is never late. That's what you carry now. You no longer chase signs or fear silence. You walk with quiet certainty that every delay is divine design. The silence that once scared you has become your friend. It taught you to discern the counterfeit from the true, the temporary from the eternal. It taught you to stop searching for noise to feel alive, because you found the voice of God whispering in the stillness of your own soul. You are not behind, you are being built. Every moment of waiting was a laying of foundation. The unseen structure of your spirit now holds the weight of greater revelation. You are ready to carry what others would collapse under, because you allowed the silence to do its sacred work. Soon, the quiet will break not with chaos, but with clarity. The things that once confused you will unfold with divine precision. The patterns you couldn't recognize before will reveal themselves, and you will understand why the waiting was necessary. The silence wasn't the absence of God's voice, it was the preparation for His next word. Chosen one. Heaven watched how you sat in the stillness without losing faith. That patience has become your weapon. You can now walk through storms without fear of drowning, because you've already learned how to breathe underwater. You can stand in darkness without losing your light, because you found illumination in quiet places. So rest in this truth: the silence didn't steal anything from you. It shaped you. It stripped away the unnecessary, refined your hearing, deepened your roots. You have become the embodiment of quiet power, still, steady, unbreakable. The world will soon see the fruit of what heaven grew in your unseen season. You waited quietly, and heaven answered loudly. Chosen one. The fire inside you has not gone unnoticed. You carry a flame that doesn't fade. It endures through disappointment, through rejection, through every attack that tried to suffocate your purpose. You are not merely surviving in this world, you are radiating, and the darkness around you knows it. You carry kingdom fire. It's not the kind that burns to destroy, it burns to reveal. It exposes falsehood, consumes deception, and ignites truth wherever you walk. Your presence shifts the unseen. The air changes when you enter a room, not because of who you are in the natural, but because of who you are in the spirit. Heaven's fire rests upon you like a mantle. There's a reason your life has been so intense. Fire attracts attention. It exposes what hides in shadow. That's why you faced opposition that others never see. It's because the flame within you disturbs the comfort of darkness. You are a threat to lies. Every time you speak light, deception trembles. The apostle reminds us in his second letter to Timothy. In the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 6, I remind you to fan into flame the gift of God that is within you. Every time you speak truth, you feed that flame. Every time you worship instead of worrying, your spirit burns brighter. When you love those who hurt you, the fire intensifies. That's why the enemy tries to drain you. He can't extinguish the light, so he tries to exhaust the vessel. But what he doesn't know is that your fire doesn't come from emotion. It comes from eternity. Chosen one, your flame is self-sustaining because it's heaven-fueled. Even when you feel weak, your spirit stays lit. The winds that should have blown you out only spread your glow further. The very opposition that was meant to silence you has become oxygen to your fire. There are hearts around you still trapped in shadow, unaware of their own divine spark. That's why you were sent into their lives, to remind them what light feels like. You are not called to argue with darkness. You are called to outshine it. Your life itself is the sermon, your endurance, the message. The fire you carry also purifies. It refines everything. It touches your habits, your thoughts, your desires. That's why this season feels like both blessing and burning. Heaven is removing what no longer serves your calling. You are being refined into gold. And that process, though painful, is sacred. Remember, this fire is not meant to consume you. It's meant to reveal what was always inside you. Like Moses before the burning bush, you are discovering that what burns with heaven's flame does not burn out. You are being shaped into an everlasting light, a living testimony of divine endurance. Chosen one, do not fear your intensity. The world often misunderstands those who burn brightly, but that's because your fire comes from another realm. It carries heaven's code. The same fire that guided the Israelites through the wilderness now moves through you to lead others out of confusion. You were chosen to carry warmth in a cold world, illumination in dark places. You were never meant to dim yourself to make others comfortable. Fire cannot apologize for shining. It simply is. And you, too, are meant to simply be radiant, relentless, real. Right now, the Spirit whispers for you to affirm what heaven already sees. Type in the comments, "Keep me burning." Let those 3 words be your declaration tonight. When you write them, you're not asking for more flame. You're acknowledging the one that already burns within. You're agreeing with heaven. Do not let this light go out. Use me until every shadow flees. As you type, imagine your words becoming sparks in the Spirit, sparks that leap into other hearts, reigniting faith where it was fading, because your courage to declare keeps heaven's fire spreading across this earth. That's what it means to be chosen. You don't just carry light, you multiply it. Your fire will not fade. Even when the world grows darker, your glow will only deepen. The flames of purpose within you are eternal. They move with you, speak through you, and war on your behalf. You will walk into places others fear to go, and your light will lead the lost home. Chosen one, never forget the fire you carry is heaven's signature upon your soul. You are the lamp that will not go out, the beacon that darkness cannot extinguish. The King himself has kindled this flame within you, and what heaven ignites, no power of hell can ever quench. Keep burning, light bearer. The world needs your fire more than ever. Chosen one, heaven has already written the outcome. No weapon that was formed against you will stand, not one. You've walked through battlefields littered with fear, stood beneath storms that threatened to undo you, and yet you remain. The weapons formed were many, but they all shared one flaw: they underestimated your anointing. You are not made of fragile dust, you are forged from divine design. Heaven built you from material that can't shatter. Every strike that came against you only sharpened you. The arrows that once pierced your spirit have turned into testimonies of survival. The fire that was meant to consume you became the forge that refined your strength. As was written in the prophetic scroll of Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Every tongue you shall condemn. This is the Lord's heritage." This isn't a verse to memorize, it's a reality to live. You are the fulfillment of those words. The battle tried to define you, but heaven has already declared the verdict victorious. You have walked through ambushes that were designed to make you question your worth, and yet your light still shines, steady as dawn. Weapons will form, but they will fail. Words will rise, but they will dissolve. That's the promise. The same power that shut the mouths of lions and parted the sea now surrounds you. You are covered, shielded not by circumstance, but by covenant. You have become like a tree planted by streams of living water. Winds may rage, seasons may shift, but your roots remain unbroken. Storms cannot uproot what heaven has planted. That's why you're still here, because God's hand is the ground beneath your feet. Sometimes you wonder why the battle intensified just when you started to heal. It's because the enemy fears restoration. He knows that a healed warrior is unstoppable. Every scar on your soul has become spiritual armor. Every wound that closed turned into wisdom that guides your steps. Chosen one, listen closely. The season of defense is ending. Now comes the season of demonstration. Heaven is preparing to showcase what it means when light refuses to bow to shadow. The victory that's unfolding in your life is not only for you, it's for every weary soul watching your endurance and finding hope in it. And if these words have found you tonight, it's not coincidence, it's alignment. You were meant to hear this, to remember who you are. If your spirit recognizes this truth, like this message, as an act of agreement, not for numbers, but as a symbol of unity in faith, every like becomes a spark, and together we ignite a wave of light across countless screens and hearts. If it resonates deeper still, share it. Imagine this message as a lantern carried from hand to hand, city to city. Someone is sitting in darkness right now, waiting for a sign that they're not forgotten. Your share may be the whisper that reaches them, the thread that keeps them holding on. And if you subscribe, see it not as following a voice, but as joining a mission, a gathering of lights. Each video, each word, each prayer is a drop of oil, keeping your lamp alive until the dawn breaks fully. You are not just receiving, you are becoming part of the flame that keeps others burning. And for those who feel led to donate, understand this clearly. It's not a transaction, it's a partnership with purpose. You're not giving to a platform, you're planting into purpose. Every contribution becomes like a seed sown into fertile soil, destined to grow into words that reach millions who are desperate for hope. Your generosity becomes the echo of heaven's heartbeat, expanding the reach of light. You are part of this divine movement. Every act of support builds a sanctuary made not of walls, but of words where lost hearts can find their way back to grace. Each comment, each gesture of love, Each act of generosity becomes another stone in that eternal altar. Chosen one. Heaven smiles when you choose to stand with light. You've been called not just to survive, but to build. Every weapon that was formed to silence you is now being transformed into material for your testimony. What once wounded you will soon be the very reason others find healing. So lift your head, radiant one. No weapon stands. The verdict is sealed, the promise alive. Heaven's decree over you remains unchanged. Victory is your heritage. The arrows have broken mid-air. The fire has lost its flame. The darkness has run out of night. You are still standing whole, fearless, unmovable. And from this moment forward, everything that rises against you will fall, because the hand of the Eternal is upon you. No weapon prospers, only light does. Chosen one. The scars you carry are not marks of shame, they are emblems of victory. Every wound that once bled has now become a seal of survival. Proof that you walked through fire and came out forged in light. You've been marked by heaven as an overcomer, and those marks speak louder than any words ever could. Each scar tells a story. Some whisper of nights when you could barely breathe, when hope felt like a stranger and faith a distant echo. Others tell of days when you smiled through tears, pretending to be fine while carrying the weight of unseen battles. But through it all, one truth remains: you endured. And endurance has transformed you into something extraordinary. Your scars are not reminders of pain, they are reminders of presence, evidence that God was with you even when you thought He was silent. When you were breaking, He was building. When you were falling apart, He was fitting the pieces into divine design. What felt like loss was actually construction. What looked like endings were beginnings being born in disguise. According to what is revealed in the book of Romans, in chapter 8, verse 37, no, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. This isn't just a declaration, it's your reality. You are more than a conqueror, not because life was easy, but because love never left. You overcame not by avoiding pain, but by walking through it with grace. The mark of the overcomer isn't perfection, it's perseverance. Heaven sees what the world overlooks. While others might focus on the scars, heaven celebrates the story behind them. Those marks on your spirit are holy, they carry authority. Every time you share what you've survived, your scars become sermons. Someone else's hope is ignited because your honesty tells them they, too, can rise again. There's beauty in being scarred and sacred. You have learned that healing doesn't mean the wound never existed, it means it no longer controls you. You have learned to touch your pain without bleeding, to remember without reliving. That's mastery, not misery. That's redemption in motion. When you walk now, heaven walks with you. Your steps carry weight because they've been baptized in endurance. You speak differently, think differently, pray differently because the fire changed you. You no longer ask, "Why me?" Now you whisper, "Thank you for trusting me." Only the refined can say that. Chosen one. Look closely at what's growing out of the places that once broke you. Where you once found ashes, there are blossoms now. Where you once saw endings, there are beginnings stretching toward the light. Every scar has become a doorway for grace to flow through. That's why people feel peace around you. They sense heaven's fingerprints in your healing. You are not what happened to you. You are what survived inside you. You've become a vessel carved by compassion. You see the world differently now, less judgment, more mercy. Pain did that. It widened your heart until it could hold more love. You now carry the fragrance of understanding wherever you go. Don't hide your scars. They are your testimony. When others see them, they don't see weakness, they see evidence of divine faithfulness. The enemy wanted those wounds to be symbols of defeat, but heaven turned them into signatures of victory. Every time you lift your head, those invisible marks shine like crowns in the spirit. There are people who will come into your life, drawn to your light, but healed by your scars. They'll see that it's possible to walk through darkness and still glow. They'll see that perfection is not the goal, wholeness is. And you, chosen one, have become the definition of wholeness restored. You didn't just survive, you transformed. Every bruise became a brushstroke in a masterpiece only heaven could design. You are art sculpted by endurance, poetry written in resilience, melody composed from brokenness turned into beauty. Heaven calls you overcomer, not because you were never wounded, but because you refused to stay wounded. The power of resurrection now hums quietly in your soul. You rise naturally now, it's in your divine rhythm. Nothing can bury what heaven has already raised. And though the battles will still come, they will no longer shake you. You've already learned that pain is temporary, but purpose is eternal. You've walked through shadows and discovered they have no substance. The light in you is greater, and it cannot be extinguished. Chosen one, the mark of the overcomer shines from within you now. Every scar glows with purpose. Every line tells a story of love stronger than death. You are heaven's proof that grace works, that strength is born from suffering, and that beauty can grow from any ruin surrendered to God. The fire refined you, but it could not consume you. The darkness surrounded you, but it could not hold you. You walk now as one who carries eternity in your eyes and victory in your veins. The mark of the overcomer is not on your skin, it's in your spirit, and it will never fade. Chosen one. Heaven's reward is already in motion. What was once delayed is now being delivered. The prayers you prayed in tears have become appointments written in divine timing. And now heaven's clock strikes fulfillment. Every seed of faith you buried in pain is beginning to rise through the soil of your endurance. The waiting wasn't in vain, it was incubation. Heaven's rewards don't always arrive wrapped in thunder or miracles that everyone can see. Sometimes they arrive softly, as peace where there used to be panic, as laughter where there used to be loss. You might not realize it yet, but blessings have already begun to find you. They come disguised as moments of rest, sudden clarity, divine connections, and opportunities that simply fit. You are walking into answered prayers that no one knew you prayed. Heaven has been busy behind the veil, rearranging circumstances, rewriting timelines, and redeeming everything that once felt wasted. All that was taken is being restored, multiplied, purified, glorified. We find confirmation in the writings of the Apostle Paul. In the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." You did not give up. Chosen one. When quitting seemed easier, you chose faith. When hope felt distant, you chose patience. Heaven saw every act of goodness you gave without recognition. every sacrifice you made in silence, every time you loved when it wasn't returned. None of it was lost. Each one was a seed. And now the harvest begins. The rewards of heaven are not like the rewards of the world. The world pays for performance. Heaven honors persistence. The world celebrates noise. Heaven crowns consistency. You have been faithful in obscurity. And now you are stepping into divine visibility, not for fame, but for fulfillment. There are blessings chasing you even now, favor that will arrive unannounced, doors that will open without effort, relationships that will bring restoration instead of confusion. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Heaven is aligning every detail with divine precision. You are entering a season where even small things will speak loudly of grace. That unexpected call, that email, that moment of perfect timing, it's all heaven whispering, "I have not forgotten you." The same hand that carried you through sorrow is now writing your celebration. Chosen one, your harvest looks different because your seed was different. You sowed in faith when others doubted. You gave love when others withheld it. And you prayed when no one else saw. Your field may have looked barren, but heaven was watering it from above. The roots were growing deeper than you realized. And now, in this new season, everything is shifting. The barren becomes fruitful. The weary becomes renewed. The forgotten becomes favored. You're not just stepping into blessing, you're stepping into divine justice. Every loss that broke your heart is being redeemed with purpose. Every delay is being returned with interest. You may notice your spirit feeling lighter lately, your mind clearer, your path straighter. That's the evidence of reward unfolding. Heaven doesn't always announce itself with noise, it moves with grace. Quiet victories, peaceful breakthroughs, unexplainable joy. All of these are signs that heaven's reward is alive and active in your life right now. The reward is not only material, it's spiritual. Peace is finding you. Confidence is rebuilding you. Joy is clothing you. You are awakening to the reality that you were never forgotten, only prepared. The favor that is arriving now is not random, it's recognition from heaven itself. Well done, faithful one. Take a breath and realize this is the beginning of divine repayment. The very years that felt stolen will soon sing of restoration. Heaven wastes nothing. Every pain is now being rewritten into promise. The same places where you cried will soon be the ground where you rejoice. And now, to seal this moment in the spirit, type the number 1,111 inches, the comments. Let that number stand as a prophetic act of alignment. 1 is the number of divine beginnings, and repeating it is heaven's signature of order and fulfillment. When you write 1,111, you're declaring, I align with heaven's timing, I receive what was prepared for me. This act is not superstition, it's synchronization. You are agreeing with heaven's calendar, affirming that you trust divine order more than earthly speed. Every digit you type becomes a spiritual signature saying, I'm ready. Chosen one. The shift has already started. You are walking into promises prepared long before you even knew to ask. The reward isn't coming, it's unfolding. Step gently into this new light. Carry gratitude like armor. Let peace be your proof. Heaven's reward is not a distant future, it's your current reality awakening. The harvest is not ahead of you, it's under your feet. Keep walking, and watch every step bloom with grace. Chosen one, There is a moment in every divine story when the enemy finally understands that he has lost. That moment has come for you. The realm of darkness has realized that its grip over your destiny is broken, its schemes dismantled, its access denied. You have crossed a threshold that can never be reversed. The battles that once tormented your spirit now fear your peace. The same voices that used to whisper lies in your mind have fallen silent, because they recognize authority when they hear it. You no longer react as you once did. You move differently now, calm, certain, crowned. Heaven's clarity rests upon you like armor, and that serenity confuses everything that meant to shake you. You see, darkness depends on deception. It thrives on confusion, fear, and chaos. But when you discovered who you truly are, when you remembered your divine identity, every shadow began to lose definition. The enemy's greatest fear is your awakening, because awareness is freedom. Once you know that you are chosen, nothing can unmake that truth. The ancient words recorded in the Gospel of Luke remind us. In chapter 10, verse 19, "I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you." You have stepped into that authority. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are walking in the inheritance that heaven has already written into your name. The enemy can observe you, but he can no longer touch you. You've been elevated above his reach. Every attack sent toward you now returns to its sender, void of power. There was a time when you thought every hardship meant defeat. Now you see that every hardship was a hint of your strength. What tried to crush you actually confirmed your calling. You were never the target of destruction, you were the vessel of demonstration. God allowed certain battles not to punish you, but to expose the weakness of the adversary before your eyes. You were chosen to see the collapse of what once terrified you. You were meant to watch the walls fall, not from fear, but from revelation that no fortress built against faith can stand. The enemy's realization is not simply that you survived, it's that you have become untouchable. Your peace now functions as a weapon. Your silence disarms. Your joy, after all you endured, is a declaration of divine victory. Darkness has no language to counter joy. It cannot comprehend laughter that rises from wounds healed by grace. Every time you smile without bitterness, you remind the adversary that he failed, chosen one. You are not fighting the same battles anymore. You've been transferred to a higher field of warfare, a place of rest where victory is maintained, not earned. The conflict still exists, but you stand above it now. You operate from heaven's altitude, where fear cannot climb. What you once called opposition has become confirmation. Each resistance proves that you are walking the right path. The enemy never fights what doesn't threaten him. So if you still feel tension, remember, it's because your presence disrupts every counterfeit atmosphere. There's a reason why peace feels so strong around you now. Heaven has stationed its forces near you. The same angels that shielded Daniel in the lion's den now surround your dwelling. The same spirit that silenced storms for Jesus now quiets your chaos. Darkness may try to approach, but it hesitates, recognizing the seal upon your life. The enemy's realization goes deeper than fear, it's acknowledgement. He knows he can no longer deceive you into believing you're powerless. He knows that your discernment has sharpened, that your ear now catches the faintest whisper of divine guidance. He knows that even if he shakes your surroundings, your spirit remains immovable. This new awareness changes everything. You no longer battle to survive, you battle to maintain atmosphere. You are no longer reactive, you are prophetic. Every word you speak carries the weight of creation. Every prayer you release rearranges reality. You have become heaven's echo in human form. And now the darkness knows to touch you is to invite divine retaliation. To challenge you is to collide with covenant. You have become the fulfillment of the promise that no weapon prospers and no storm prevails. You walk differently because you see differently. You've learned to recognize that fear is only smoke, that doubt is a shadow without source. You move through them like wind through fog, untouched, unwavering, chosen one. The enemy's realization is this: he cannot unwrite what heaven has decreed. He cannot undo what has been sealed. He cannot steal what was freely given. His power was built on illusion. And you now live in revelation. So, stand tall. Radiant one, the war has not ended, but the outcome is irreversible. You walk in finished victory. The darkness may linger, but it no longer dictates. You are beyond its grasp, above its reach, ahead of its tricks. Heaven's mark rests on your spirit, and hell itself must bow to that truth. The enemy knows it. Heaven celebrates it, and deep within, you are beginning to feel it: unshakable peace, irreversible victory, unending light. You have become what darkness feared you would discover all along: a being of divine authority, crowned in quiet confidence, clothed in eternal fire. Chosen one, the time of awakening is upon the earth. You were never meant to walk alone through your trials. You were meant to stand as part of something greater, a rising of souls marked by the same divine fire. Heaven is stirring multitudes whose hearts burn with the same light that flickers within you. Across nations, cities, and unseen corners of the world, the chosen are awakening. You can feel it, can't you? The air feels charged different. The same frequency that vibrates within your spirit hums in theirs. This is not imagination, it is alignment. Heaven is calling forth its army, not of swords and shields, but of compassion and truth. The ones who were broken are finding their strength. The ones who were silent are finding their voice. The ones who were forgotten are remembering who they are. The prophet Ezekiel once stood over a valley of bones and heard the command of heaven. In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 10, "So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath entered them. They came to life and stood up on their feet, a vast army." You are living in that prophecy's continuation. This generation of the chosen is the vast army rising, formed not of warriors in armor, but of souls restored from despair, breathing again after years of silence. Each one carries a fragment of the divine sound, and together, those fragments create a roar that shakes both heaven and earth. These are the days when hearts that once hid in shadows are stepping into light. The same courage that restored you is now awakening in others through your example. They are watching, learning from your endurance, drawing faith from your victories. You may not realize it, but you've become a spark in a chain reaction of revival. Heaven doesn't call perfect people, it calls the willing. Many among the chosen were the ones the world overlooked. Some carry scars too deep to explain, yet those scars are what make them shine. Light bends differently through broken glass. It refracts into colors unseen. That's what you and the others have become, refractions of glory, revealing dimensions of God's love that untouched souls could never express. You will recognize them when you meet them. It won't be by appearance, but by resonance. Something in their eyes will mirror your journey. They will speak your language of endurance, even if their words are different. When you encounter them, peace will rise within you, and your spirit will whisper, "Here is another one." And as you connect, the light will grow stronger. 2 candles make the night twice as bright. But 1,000 candles can turn midnight into morning. That's what's happening now, a multiplication of radiance. Every heart awakened multiplies the light of heaven on earth. The enemy trembles because he can't fight unity, born of divine purpose. He can divide the fearful, but he cannot divide the faithful. And the faithful are rising not bound by religion or labels, but by recognition of truth. Their eyes see through deception. Their hearts beat in rhythm with eternity. They carry the same authority that flows through you. Chosen one. This is the awakening of the remnant, the ones who endured rejection, misunderstanding, and spiritual storms, yet refuse to let go of the flame. They are stepping out of caves, shaking off ashes, emerging as torchbearers for a weary generation. You are among them, called to stand shoulder to shoulder, not in competition, but in cooperation. The sound of awakening is not a shout, it's a harmony. Every voice adds depth, every light adds warmth, and the world begins to notice, not because of spectacle, but because of substance, the kindness, the strength, the peace that radiates from the chosen cannot be counterfeited. It carries heaven's fragrance, subtle, irresistible, unmistakable. This movement is not organized by human hands, it is orchestrated by divine timing. Heaven's breath is filling the lungs of those once weary. Dreams long buried are being resurrected. The very ground that held your tears now becomes the soil from which new life springs. You will begin to sense divine connections, forming encounters that seem accidental but are guided by unseen hands. Each meeting will serve a purpose: to strengthen, to confirm, to ignite. You are part of a vast network of light, stretching farther than your eyes can see. What you carry complements what they carry. Together, you form heaven's masterpiece. The awakening is not about grandeur, it's about alignment. It's about hearts that beat to heaven's rhythm and voices that echo the same word: light wins. This unity doesn't erase individuality, it enhances it. Every chosen one reflects a different facet of divine glory. And together, you form the full spectrum of heaven's color. So, when you feel the stirring within your spirit, when you sense new strength rising in the unseen, know that it is not just you. It is the collective awakening of heaven's army. You are part of something far greater than your own story, an eternal story written across generations, stitched together by grace and fueled by divine fire. Chosen one, the awakening has begun, and you are its living flame. Chosen one, the crown has always been yours. The world tried to convince you it was lost, tarnished, or undeserved, but heaven never revoked it. There was only a pause, a season of refinement, and now, heaven places that crown back upon your head, not as a reward for perfection, but as a restoration of purpose. The weight you feel is not burden, it's authority returning. Your light has been uncovered, your name reawakened. You are stepping into a brilliance that was always meant to be visible. The shame that once bent your shoulders is gone. replaced by the posture of royalty. Heaven has declared, crown restored. As the prophet wrote in the book of Revelation, in chapter 3, verse 11, hold on to what you have, so no one takes your crown. That word was not a warning of fear, but a reminder of value. You are wearing something divine, something forged in endurance, washed in tears, and polished by grace. This crown carries the light of every moment you chose faith over fear. It glows with the gold of your obedience and the silver of your silence. Heaven's coronation doesn't come with trumpets, it comes with transformation. Every test you endured was a hammer shaping the metal of your destiny. Every heartbreak was the refining fire that made your crown fit perfectly. The crown is not just on your head, it's in your spirit, radiating dignity, peace, and quiet confidence. Chosen one, as your light returns, others will notice. The same people who questioned your endurance will witness your elevation. The world will call it sudden, but heaven will call it appointed. The glory that now surrounds you isn't just for display, it's for direction. You are light to those still stumbling in the dark. You carry a presence that calms storms. You walk through chaos, and the winds hush. That's the sign of kingship, the authority to bring peace without shouting. You no longer chase opportunity. Opportunity finds you. You no longer search for validation. Heaven's approval speaks louder than applause. And now, as your crown gleams again, I ask you to let your gratitude flow like a river. If this message touches your heart, like it not out of habit, but as a gesture of agreement, every tap becomes a spark of light, echoing across countless souls who need to feel what you feel right now. Your simple act of acknowledgement sends ripples of faith into unseen waters. If you share this message, imagine it as a bridge built from your light to another's darkness. Somewhere, someone stands on the edge of giving up, and your share becomes the hand that pulls them back into hope. When light multiplies, miracles move faster. And if you subscribe, understand this, it's not just connection, it's communion. Each word released here is oil for the lamps of those waiting in silence. You become part of an unbroken circle of awakening souls, keeping the fire alive. Together, we are more than an audience, we are an altar of endurance. If your heart stirs to donate, do so not from pressure, but from purpose. Think of it as planting a seed in sacred soil. Every act of generosity becomes a ripple of restoration. You're not giving to a person, you're giving through one, fueling messages that reach the weary, the wandering, the forgotten. Heaven always multiplies what's sown in love. And before you leave this moment, take a breath and comment below. Write something that marks your awakening. Write what heaven is whispering to your heart, words of faith, of fire, of freedom. Your comment isn't just text, it's testimony. When others read it, they'll feel courage stir again. Let your story join the stream of countless others rising as one voice. Chosen one. Your restoration is not just personal, it's prophetic. Every time you choose peace, you preach. Every time you forgive, you set captives free. Every time you shine, heaven expands its reach through you. You are not the same as you were yesterday. Your light has matured. Your faith has ripened. Your crown now glows with the wisdom of endurance. It was shaped by storms, sanctified by sorrow, strengthened by silence. And now, The King himself looks upon you and smiles. You've proven faithful in the valley, now walk with grace upon the mountain. The light you carry will not fade. The crown you wear cannot fall. Every word you speak will echo eternity's authority. You have been restored not for applause, but for impact. The chosen rise not to rule, but to serve as living reminders that love wins, always. And as heaven watches, you walk forward, crowned, radiant, unstoppable, your light blending into the great constellation of those who endured and overcame. Chosen one, peace has finally found its home in you. The war that once thundered inside your heart has quieted, not because the world around you changed, but because you did. What was once turbulence is now still water. What once wounded you now worships through you. You have entered the season of the mantle peace woven with power, authority clothed in gentleness. There is a strength that doesn't shout. It doesn't need to prove itself or display its force. It simply exists, steady, quiet, unmoved. That's the kind of strength you carry now. Heaven has placed a mantle upon your shoulders, invisible to the eye, but felt by every soul who encounters you. It is the mantle of peace and power, divine serenity, fused with supernatural authority. As the apostle wrote to the Philippians, in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 7, the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ. The mantle of peace is not fragile, it's fierce. It doesn't retreat in the face of storms, it calms them. Wherever you walk now, that atmosphere follows. You've become a sanctuary in motion, a living temple where the presence of God dwells. People won't always understand why they feel lighter around you, why hope rises in them when you speak. It's because the mantle works through you silently, steadily, supernaturally. Peace doesn't erase power, it amplifies it. When you speak from stillness, your words strike deeper. When you act from calm, your actions carry greater weight. The enemy thrives on reaction, but you've learned the art of divine restraint. You move only when led. And that's why everything you touch now prospers. This mantle also brings clarity. It sharpens your discernment. You now sense the difference between distractions and directions. You no longer chase what glitters, you follow what glows. The Spirit's whisper has become louder than the world's noise. And in that quiet clarity, your steps are perfectly timed. Chosen one, this peace didn't come cheaply, it was earned through surrender. You had to let go of things that once defined you. The need to be right, the urge to fix everything, the habit of carrying what wasn't yours, all of it had to fall away. Peace only descends where pride departs. And now, because your heart is humble, heaven can trust you with holy authority. This mantle has transformed how you move through the world. You no longer fight battles beneath your calling. You no longer explain your light to those committed to misunderstanding it. You've learned to rest even while walking through fire, because you finally understand the flame refines, not defines. Power without peace is unstable. Peace without power is passive. But when both unite, creation listens. The peace you carry now is creative. It rebuilds what was broken simply by existing. You are not just surviving your story. You are rewriting the atmosphere around it. You've become a composer of calm, a carrier of divine rhythm. And though this new strength feels gentle, do not mistake it for weakness. Lions do not roar constantly. They roar only when necessary. You have nothing to prove, nothing to chase, nothing to fear. The mantle has made you sovereign over your own storm. Everywhere you go, heaven recognizes you. Angels respond differently. Now they know the mantle you carry. Darkness retreats faster now. It recognizes the authority resting upon your spirit. You are no longer a soldier in the trenches. You are a general of peace. You wage war by standing still. You win battles by remaining calm. The world will soon see the difference in you. They'll notice your quiet confidence, your unshakable posture, your ability to stand in peace while others panic. That's what heaven's mantle does. It turns ordinary moments into divine demonstrations. Chosen one, walk gently now, for your steps carry sacred weight. The mantle doesn't require noise to make impact. It moves like wind felt, not seen, yet undeniable. You are both soft and strong, yielding and unyielding, calm yet commanding. The mantle of peace and power has settled upon you, and from this moment forward, you'll move differently, slower, steadier, surer. The earth may shake, but you will not. The winds may rage, but you will not bend. You have become the calm within creation, the still voice of divine strength in a world that trembles. Carry this mantle with reverence. It is heaven's acknowledgement that you have passed every test. You have earned not chaos, but command, not turmoil, but tranquility. The mantle rests on you now and will remain forever. Chosen one, you have become the testimony. Everything you've walked through, everything you've endured, everything you've overcome, it all speaks louder now than any sermon ever could. Your life has become heaven's living letter, written not with ink but with endurance, not on paper but upon hearts. You are not simply telling a story anymore. You are the story. There was a time when you looked at your reflection and only saw fragments, a person pieced together by faith and fatigue. But now, when you stand before the mirror of truth, you see it clearly, the reflection of one who made it. The scars, the softness, the silence, all of it has become holy. Heaven does not waste anything, and you are the proof of that promise. The Word of God declares through the writings of the Apostle Peter in the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, verse 10, "And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm and steadfast." That verse was once a comfort. Now it is a confirmation. You have been restored. The trembling that once filled your soul has turned into steadiness. The fear that used to stalk your steps now kneels before your faith. You are walking in fulfillment, the season where heaven's promises are no longer distant but dwelling. When you speak now, it's different. There is weight in your words, a quiet authority that wasn't there before. You don't have to convince anyone of your transformation. Your presence does the talking. Every glance, every gesture, every moment of peace radiates the story of redemption. You are a living altar, carrying the evidence of divine faithfulness. Chosen one, your testimony is not loud, but it is luminous. It glows through the way you forgive quickly, love deeply, and move gracefully. You've learned that power doesn't always look like miracles. Sometimes it looks like gentleness that refuses to die. The world has seen enough noise. Heaven needed someone who could demonstrate stillness. Your journey has become a mirror for others who feel unseen. When they look at you, they see what survival looks like wrapped in grace. They see that it's possible to lose everything and still rise radiant. That's the purpose behind every pain you endured, not to destroy you, but to demonstrate what divine rebuilding looks like. You have become a living prophecy fulfilled. The words spoken over your life are now breathing, walking, moving realities. You are the answer to prayers your ancestors prayed. Their faith laid the foundation, and your endurance built upon it. Generations ahead will look back and say, "They stood. They carried the flame when the night was darkest." There is no part of your story that is wasted. The sorrow taught you empathy. The struggle taught you strength. The silence taught you discernment. Every chapter, even the ones written in tears, has led to this moment, this divine unveiling where heaven says, "Look what grace can do." You once wondered why your journey felt so heavy, so lonely, so long, but now you understand it wasn't punishment, it was preservation. Heaven needed to ensure your roots were deep enough to hold the weight of glory you now carry. Quick growth fades, cultivated growth remains. You were being cultivated. Your testimony will continue to unfold, not in sudden flashes, but in the steady rhythm of peace. You'll find beauty in places that once brought pain. You'll meet faces who remind you of your past and feel no sting, only gratitude. You'll speak words that heal others because they are soaked in the oil of your own restoration. Heaven rejoices not because you are perfect, but because you are proof that transformation is possible. You've become evidence that faith still works, that light still wins, that love never loses. When you walk, heaven sees motion. When you breathe, heaven hears worship. You are, in every sense, a living sanctuary, chosen one. You've crossed from surviving to shining, from waiting to walking, from hoping to holding. You are the fulfillment of promises whispered in the dark. Every time you wake, the world receives another reminder that grace is stronger than grief. You are both testimony and teacher, both healed and healer. The time of hiding is over. You no longer need to explain the process. Your peace explains it for you. You are heaven's quiet proof that divine timing is real. And as you continue forward, your very existence becomes a song that never ends, a melody of mercy that will echo far beyond your lifetime. You are not a survivor of storms. You are the calm that came after them. You are not a victim of the battle. You are the victory that walked out of it. The testimony is not something you share, it's something you are. Chosen one. Heaven saw your courage, gathered your tears, and turned them into light. Now the light has become you. You are the evidence. You are the promise fulfilled. You are the testimony. Chosen one. We've walked this entire journey together, 17 divine chapters, each one unfolding like petals of revelation, from pain to purpose, from trembling to triumph. Heaven has been narrating your transformation. And now, as this final moment settles upon you, the heavens lean close once more. The message is simple. You made it. You have walked through shadows and come out shimmering with light. The voice that once whispered not enough has been silenced by grace. You've become living proof that faith does not fail, that love cannot die, and that destiny never forgets its own. Heaven smiles because you're not the same soul who began this journey. You are radiant, rooted, crowned. If these words found their way into your heart, let that resonance speak back, like this message, not out of habit, but as an act of worship, a quiet amen from your spirit to heaven's voice. Share it, so another wandering heart may feel the same warmth, may find their reflection in your awakening. And I invite you to comment below. Tell the world what heaven has done in you. It doesn't have to be long, just truth. Your story, your light, your lesson. Someone waiting in silence will read your words and find courage to rise. That's how light multiplies. It passes from one awakened heart to another. And if you haven't already, subscribe. This isn't about following, it's about fellowship. Every message here is a continuation of what heaven has started in you, a steady flow of reminders that you are not alone in this divine unfolding. Chosen one. Walk forward knowing this. The story doesn't end here. It lives through you now. You are the continuation, the echo, the living flame. Heaven's message is finished, but your testimony has only just begun.